working.
Okay, great. Thank you. Well, welcome, friends. I'm Michelle, and I am from Faber-Castell and Creativity for Kids. And we have Meredith here, who is going to walk you through one of our favorite products. So, Meredith, it's all yours.
All right. Well, welcome, everybody. As Michelle said, we're going to be doing a craft that is one of our favorites in all of our company, and this is the Grow and Glow Terrarium. So here's what the box looks like. And you can see there's some actual glowing elements in it and cute little figurines. So why we're doing this kit this week is because this week on Thursday is Earth Day. And Earth Day is all about protecting our environment. So different ways you can protect your environment or help your environment would be planting trees or planting other plants. And today we'll be planting wheatgrass and chia seeds. So let's get started.
And friends, if you have any questions, you can use the Q&A button. And just a reminder that this webinar, we cannot see you, but you can see us. So again, if you have any questions, please use the Q&A button.
All right. So normally I pour everything out of the box, but I have everything that comes in our kit already laid out so we can take a look at what we have. And if you do not have this kit at home, it would be helpful for you to have some kind of a jar with a lid, maybe like a peanut butter jar or like a mason jar or a pickle jar. And then you will want some kind of a planting mix or a planting soil. And then different things like we include some sand, and this sand glows in the dark, but you can use regular sand as well. And some stones like this, which help with drainage and with decoration. And then some seeds that you want to grow. And these are our grass seeds, our wheatgrass seeds. And these teeny tiny little seeds right here are our chia seeds. And both of them are very quick growing seeds. So it makes it really fun to see things grow quickly. So we recommend those. And like I said earlier, and if you were not on the call yet, a pair of scissors, some water, and some paper towels will be helpful to have. So if you don't have any of that, you might want to go and grab that while we take a look at the instructions. So it says, what is a terrarium? A terrarium is a miniature garden created in an artificial environment. Small plants, rocks, and garden-themed accessories are often included, and these gardens are planted as a fun hobby or educational purposes. And like what we're doing today is to celebrate Earth Day. All right, so get ready to grow. Lay out some newspapers or paper towels to work on. This will help keep your area clean while you plant. Helpful hint, and this is a very, very helpful hint because I actually made this mistake. So it says, use just a few of the chia and wheatgrass seeds and then save the rest for later. If you plant too many seeds at one time, it will cause overcrowding and a lack of growth. So these are the seeds. And when I first did this kit, I poured in about half of the bag, and that was way too many seeds. So really you only want to put like this many seeds. So definitely not half the bag. So just a little bit of seeds.
Meredith, what happens if you use too many?
If you use too many seeds, all of the seeds start to clump together and it creates a big clump of soil or like mixture, and none of the seeds grow at all. So you just get a hard little clump of all of the seeds having grown together. So it doesn't work at all.
Thank
So
you. That makes
we
sense.
don't recommend that. Yeah. Okay, so here's where we will need our scissors. It says open your potting mix and add a small amount of water. Squish the bag until it clumps together like clay. Add more water as needed. So in our kit, you get this cute little spritzer mister bottle. And what I had done, I filled this up about 2 times and I poured that in. So that's the amount of water that worked for me. So you can try that as well. And actually, I'll just lean this up against that. And I already put water in this one, so that's how I already had it on hand. And you just pour it right in. So there's one. And before you put any more water in, close the bag with your hand and kind of just put it on its side and squeeze it together. And what you're trying to do is get all of that dry potting mix a little bit damp. So just squeeze it around. Oh, you can see there's a lot of dry over here. So I'll lean it up here again. And I have some more water over here. So this is 2 little bottles of water. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. And I'll hold the top together like this, so none of this will leak out. And you just squeeze it all up again. You can turn it upside down if you feel safe doing that. And if you're working over a towel or newspaper, it's okay if some of it spills. And it's really easy to clean up, so it's not a big deal if it does spill. It kind of just is crumbly. Okay, so that's pretty nice and mixed up. So like you can see, I can move it around and it's not moving anywhere. So that means it's nice and stuck together. Let's see what we do next. Layer the potting mix, sand, and stones as shown. So here's our picture. So it says potting mix, glowing sand, more potting mix, the stones, and then the seeds. So the first thing, we're going to put about half of the potting mix because we're going to put some more up here. So we'll put half the potting mix in first. Here's our jar. And I'm kind of gonna just squeeze it right here because that's about half. And squeeze it in. Okay, cool. So this is what I have so far. Now, in the picture, it looks nice and even, like nice and level. So to make it nice and level, I'm gonna make my finger kind of flat in this area and use it like a little stomper. And I'm gonna put my hand inside and kind of just stomp down the potting mix so it's all level. Get back in there, you. I think I could probably put more potting mix in actually. So, and it feels just like that magic sand, where it's kind of like sandy and gritty, but it has a little bit of moisture to it, so it's easy to form. So yeah, I'm gonna put a little bit more mix in. And there you. Okay, and we'll pat it down some more. So this definitely feels different than regular dirt that you would find out in like nature. And you can see it actually has really pretty gold little flecks in it. And I'm not sure what those are, but it's just kind of fancy. So it must help the little seeds grow. Okay. And if you have a paper towel nearby, you might want to clean off your finger. Ooh, see, here's the shiny little specks. Kind of matches my nail polish. Okay, the next layer is the glowing sand. So cool. So I'm gonna charge it a little bit up by my light. And then I'm gonna, with these types of bags, sometimes you can just tear it open and you don't need to cut it. Yeah, that works really well. So I'm gonna just dump it in, maybe around the sides. So I'm kind of spinning the container as I pour it in, nice and gently. Cool.
So Meredith, those gold flecks that you found,
Yeah.
those are vermiculite, and that is a natural mineral that helps to absorb water.
Ooh.
That's why you will see that in the soil.
I like vermiculite.
It's fancy and functional.
That's excellent. I'm so happy we include vermiculite in our potting soil. Fancy and functional. All right, time to add the purple. Oh, I'll charge up my purple by my light here. Yeah,
I love that
I
color.
should mention, all of our glow-in-the-dark elements are, here, let me show you these beautiful little starry stickers. So we have a heart constellation, we have a shooting star, we have the Big Dipper, or maybe that's the Little Dipper. So all of those glow in the dark. And our sand glows in the dark. And our little figurine that looks like a fire glows in the dark. And how you charge these up so they actually glow is by holding them up to a light. And you hold them up to a light for a little bit of time, and then if you cup your hand and look through it, you might be able to see it glowing. And after you actually create your terrarium, you can use a flashlight and you can charge up your stickers and you can charge up your sand and your little fire. And then when you turn the lights out, it'll all glow. So it's really neat. Okay, back to our layering. Here we are. We've put our blue glowing sand in. It's time for our purple glowing sand.
And friends, if you don't have glowing sand, that is okay. You can use regular sand if you don't have this craft kit.
right, our sand is in. Now it's time for more potting mix. All right, the rest of that's going in. And we're going to use this special tool called the finger stomper. And we're going to stomp that in. And you don't want to push it like super duper hard because you might push it so hard that you won't be able to see your sand. So you just want to kind of push it down so it's nice and level. There we go.
Hey Meredith, after this layer, do you think you can show us the side? Maybe we'll
Let's
switch
see.
camera view. Oh, look at that.
We can do that. Here you go.
Ooh.
So you can see our planting mix, our blue sand, our purple sand, and then more of our mix. Cool. And our vermiculite.
Very good.
That's the word of the class, is vermiculite. Fun and functional. Okay. Our next layer is the white stones. So here we go. And oh yeah, this is something important. Before you pour the stones in, there's a little note in our instructions, and it says, for the top layer, place the stones in the front and leave an area of potting mix in the back to put your seeds. So here's an example, like here's all the white stones, and this is your terrarium thing. And then here is the planting mix. That's where you're going to put your seeds. So thank goodness I caught myself and didn't pour the stones all over.
And
but if
friends,
you did, go ahead.
Friends, if you have your hands raised, you won't be able to talk with us, but you can use the Q&A button to ask your question that way.
Yes, and if you did accidentally put the stones in all over, you can just shoo them back, like shoo, get back over there. And then everything will be all right. So no worries if your stones have run all over the place. Okay. Do we have any questions that we want to bring up right now, Michelle, or is everyone still doing well?
I think everybody is doing well.
Good.
Thumbs up. Great job.
Okay, cool. So I also realized that in order to keep things kind of in place, you can use your little water spritzer and spritz each layer if you're having a hard time keeping your stones or your potting mix or your sand in place. That's a little helpful tip. So if anything is kind of like not staying where it should, you just add a little water and it should kind of stay where it's meant to stay. All right, time for our chia seeds. And this time, I promise, I will not put too many in, unless they just fall out of the bag uncontrollably, which I hope they don't do. So to prevent that from happening, I'm going to pour some in my fingers, and then that way I won't pour too many in. So,
and which one are you starting with first, the wheatgrass or the chia?
I have the chia right here. So this is the little itty bitty tiny ones. And we're just going to pour them in my hand. Okay, so this is the amount I'm starting with. And this is how many more I have left over. So you can see there's a whole bunch over here if you would like to grow chia anywhere else. But this is how much we're starting with in our little terrarium.
And friends, if your soil is too wet, you can always lay a piece of paper towel down on top and it will absorb the extra water. So that's a really good tip, again, if your soil is too mushy, if you will. Just take a paper towel and you can soak some of that up.
All right. So that was way easier than the first time I did this. So just kind of shooing them into your terrarium is much easier than trying to pour them directly from the bag. So I highly recommend that. Okay, time for our wheatgrass seeds. I'm going to do the same technique and pour them in my hand first. And also, I'm not going to do too many. I'm just going to do a couple. What do you think? Is that enough, Michelle?
That looks great.
Okay, so this is how many that we're going to put in versus all of these extras that you have. So you can find lots of different containers around the house or, you know, in your recycling bin or wherever. And if you get some soil, you can grow a ton more wheatgrass and a ton more chia. Okay, and I'm gonna kind of just gently push these off my hand into our area where there is not white stones, white pebbles.
And Meredith, do you know why we're using wheatgrass and chia seeds?
Because they taste good?
No.
No.
No, they grow really quickly.
That's
so
right.
in just a few days, you can start seeing it sprout, which is really fun to watch and keep an eye on.
All right, so we probably should not eat our wheatgrass or chias.
It is not recommended that you do that. However, there are types of wheatgrass and chia seeds that you can eat. We just don't recommend you eating ours.
Okay, thank you very much. That's very helpful. Okay, so I'm gonna push the little seeds down into the soil a little bit. And if you have a hard time reaching them, you could probably use a pencil or another, like a stick or something long like that to push them down in there. And I don't know what you may have laying around your house, but usually there's something that you can turn into a tool that would be helpful. All right.
Meredith, can you hold it up so maybe we can get another camera view?
Oh yeah. Actually, if we can do the overhead shot again, you might actually be able to see inside. Can you see my
Oh, I
seeds?
can, yes.
Oops.
So exciting.
Yeah, so there they are. And if you have the use of a camera, it would be fun to take a picture of what everything looks like right now before you put any other little decorations in or anything, just so you can kind of record where your seeds started. And then as they grow, you can take off the lid and you can take pictures of your seeds starting to grow. And it's really fun to see because they'll start getting one little leaf coming up out of the soil and then two little leaves kind of going either way. And then they'll just like shoot up even more and more with sunlight and water. So it's very fun to see. And it's fun to record.
That's a great idea. I like that. How fun.
Yeah. So
Make a little journal of it.
let's see here. Before we put our little figurines inside, it does say, once the layers are complete, mist the top of the soil until it is very damp. So here's our mister. And I'm just gonna mist it a lot, like it said to. I think that's probably good. So that was probably around 10 squirts. Now you can see there's a bunch of mist on the inside of my terrarium. So I'm gonna use a paper towel and just kind of wipe some of it off. Just hold it up against the edge. And you don't have to get all of it, but just some of it. And it kind of just cleans off the side of your terrarium. Ooh, vermiculite. Cool. Okay, in you go, little raccoon. So our raccoon has something in his hand. Can anyone see what he's got in his hand? It's a stick, and he has two little white things on the end of the stick. Can you guess what those little white things are?
Oh, we have some guesses coming in.
And if you don't know, this makes a lot of sense. So there's a fire, and then he's got this stick in his hand, and he's got two little white things, and he's holding them over the fire because he likes his a little bit medium brown. So has anyone guessed the right answer, Michelle?
Yes, we've got Allison and Adrian, Aaron and Katie. Yes. Good job, everyone.
So if you guessed marshmallow, you're correct. So this is our little campfire scene where our raccoon is toasting marshmallows over the fire. And if I can get a front view, I can show you. Here's our little raccoon, and he is roasting his marshmallows over the fire. So the next step is to put the lid on, but then you get all of these really cool stickers to put around your terrarium, including the glow-in-the-dark ones. So we're gonna do that next. Thank you. Okay, so we'll put our lid on, and since I love the glow-in-the-dark stickers, I'm gonna put those on first. And again, I'm gonna charge them up because my hope is that I've charged these things up so well that towards the end of the class, we'll be able to turn off the lights, and then you'll see the terrarium actually glow. So Michelle, have you ever made a terrarium?
I have made our Grow and Glow terrarium as well as our mini gardens. And those are the ones that are shaped like eggs. They're so adorable. We just did that recently for Easter as a fun afternoon craft.
And how did your chia seeds grow in the little mini egg ones?
Very fast. Within 2 days, we started seeing something. And then a couple days later, we were amazed at how tall it got.
Yeah. Yeah, you should be seeing some growth within your terrarium after about 3 to 5 days, I think. So they grow very quickly. And if you don't have this kit at home, you can always decorate your terrarium with stickers that you have around, or you could also decorate with paint, but I would recommend not painting the top area, just where the soil is or where the planting mix is. And terrariums kind of look like lots of different layers. So like those people who go digging for dinosaur bones, sometimes you can see the different layers and like where the dinosaur bones are, like way, way, way down here. So it's really neat to see the different layers. Oopsies, I forgot my raccoon was in there. Very fun to see the different layers. And sometimes people do this with food where they make a salad for lunch and then they like layer their lettuce and then they layer their green peppers and their tomatoes. And it's very pretty if you have lots of different colors of food or beans or whatever you're layering. Okay. Ooh, look at the moon. It's like a pearl. That's cool. Like an opal. So the moon's going on. And our little friend the fox will go on. And our our large tree with an owl. So Michelle, how else might someone celebrate Earth Day? Do you have any ideas?
So one of the ways that we actually do it in our house is that at certain points of the day, we turn off all the lights just to save on the electricity. We also like to do nature walks. And I think one of our other favorite activities to do while we're outside and going for a walk is to hide and find painted rocks. So we have a lot of fun doing that. And Meredith, we've gotten a few questions already about how often we need to water the terrarium. And we just need to keep the soil damp. We don't want to let it dry out.
Right, so when I was doing other little terrariums, I would just do one little squirt maybe each day. So you have to kind of open up the top, and the top is really easy to open on this one. And you just kind of peek in and you see if it's damp or not. And you should be able to tell because with this mix, it looks darker when it's damp. And when it's not damp, it looks lighter. And I would say that's pretty much standard for most potting soils. It might look lighter when it's not damp enough. So if it's looking very light and kind of loose, like if wind were to blow, it would blow it away. That's too dry. So definitely give it a squirt if it's like that.
Yes, if you live in a dry area where it's really hot, you may need to water it just a little bit more often, but that's the great thing about using this kit is that you can experiment and you can replant and you can learn to judge how the soil is reacting and how fast your plants are growing.
Right.
And you can use your little journal or your book or your pictures to help you understand when it's time to water it.
Right. Okay. So on the back, it says, in most cases, your garden will begin to sprout in 3 to 4 days. For best results, keep your terrarium in a warm and sunny place. If your seeds are not sprouting, check to be sure the soil is damp. and mist it as needed. And if your garden gets too wet or humid, you may notice something fuzzy. And this is something you don't really want. So you should remove the lid and then let your garden get some air and dry out a little bit, because air circulation helps. And then over time, your garden will need to be replanted. So you can use any of these leftover seeds to plant them again if you get some more planting mix or soil. So you have plenty for future growing. All right, so I'm gonna hold this up, and I'm gonna hold it up right by our light here, and I'm gonna try and charge up our stickers and our sand and our fire. And let's see if we can show you how well it all glows in the dark. Okay. And okay, I'm gonna go turn off the lights. I'll be right back.
Can we go to the side? Oh, actually, you know what? If Meredith comes back, we can probably pull it up. Ooh.
Can we see it? Oh, I think it might be a little too dark to see it glowing. I
Yeah,
can see it.
there's a little bit of the
Can
glare.
you hear here or see it here? So
I
that's it
can.
glowing, but it might be just a little bit, oops, too dark. I'll put the lights back on now.
Hey, Meredith, maybe in a few days you can do you can take some photos for us and show us what it would look like in the dark in a few days once
I can
it's
definitely
growing.
do that. Yeah.
Ooh. And then we'll post that, maybe we'll post that in our Facebook group so that we can see the pictures and see how long it takes your terrarium to grow.
Oh yeah, that would be excellent. That's a great idea, Michelle. So I'll take some pictures when I get home and as it starts to grow, and you'll see both the chia and the wheatgrass growing. And if I can get a picture of it glowing in the dark, that would be awesome. All
Thank
right.
you.
So do we have any other questions about Earth Day or our Grow and Glow terrarium?
Meredith, what do you like to do on Earth Day? Which is Thursday, I believe, correct?
It is, yeah. So in the past, I've gone on nature walks and I've picked up litter, and I've done a beach clean where you go to the beach and you pick up anything that shouldn't be there, like maybe bottles or garbage, and we put that in recycle bins. And that's about it. Or plant trees. I've planted trees before. So I really like Earth Day because I like being out in nature. Thanks for asking.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think, friends, this has been amazing, and we are so glad that you followed along with us. Meredith will be teaching another class in May, and it's how to plant a magic bean garden. And so that kit has lots of paint and some special messages, and you can pick that up at Michael's. So we hope you'll join us for that class.
Great. Thank you so much. And have a good Earth Day.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.